Hello everybody, I'm Jasmine Reese. Some of you may not know, I prefer to be called Reese. But anyways, that's besides the point. I've been assigned for chapters 22 through 24. Chapter 22, author's mother. Chapter 23 was the group session. So in the group session, Phillips decides that he wants to open up on the discussion for the group. So he opens up and he wants to clarify the list that Pam had spoke about in the last meeting. So he decides he opens up about it. As he's opening up about it, the purpose of him opening up about it was for him to go over it before Pam could. So later on, as he's talking about it, Rebecca interrupts and she says that she wants to let something off her chest. So her secret that she reveals is that when she went to Las Vegas some years ago, 2 weeks before her wedding, she had a good night with somebody she met at the bar. So while she's, having that good night, she kind of regrets it and whatnot. And then Stewart says he has something to get off his chest. When he was in Jamaica for, I think it was a conference for the doctors, he had met a lady. She was drunk. She was in the hallway. She looked good to him. So, he took up on her offer. The whole entire time, even though she was drunk, he kept getting confirmation that it was okay. So Julius, the leader, decides that he wants to, sum up the group. He sums up the group and tells Philip that he has just received 2 gifts. And his homework assignment is to reflect on those 2 gifts. So as we move into chapter 24, Philip's thoughts about his homework assignment, we will cover. So we have here Mr. Philip.
Okay.
So Mr. Philip.
Okay. If we do not want to be a plaything in the hands of every rogue and the object of every fool's ridicule, the first rule is to be reserved and inaccessible.
Thank you, Philip. So Philip walked for hours after the meeting.
From the back?
From the back. Philip walked for hours after the meeting past the Palace of Fine Arts, the decaying colonial built for the 1915 International Exposition. Circled the adjoining lake twice, while which the swans poling their territory, and then strolled along the Meridian and the Crissy Field path by the San Francisco Bay until he reached the base of the Golden Gate Bridge. What is it Julius instructed him to think about? He recalled the instructions to think about Stuart's and Rebecca's gift, but before he could focus his mind, he had already forgotten his assignment. And again, he swept his mind clear of all thoughts, tried to focus on soothing the archetypical, images, the wake of. But he continued to feel oddly distracted. He walked through the Presidio, the former military base located on the overlook of the mouth of the bay, and down the Clement Street with its 20 blocks of wall-to-wall Asian restaurants. He chose a modern Vietnamese food shop, and when his brief intention soup arrived, he's eating now. He said quietly, he's eating now, guys. He chose a modest Vietnamese food shop, and when his beef and tender soup arrived, he sat quietly for a few minutes, inhaling the lemongrass vapor rising from the broth, staring at the glistening mountain of rice noodles. After only a few mouthfuls, he requested the rest be packaged up for his dog. Generally attentive to food, Philip had routinized his eating habits. Breakfast of toast and coffee, and a main meal at the main meal at noon at the school student cafeteria, and a small inexpensive evening repast of soup or salad. All meals by choice were taken alone. Took a solace indeed, sometimes broke into a full smile when he thought of Schopenhauer's habit of paying for 2 of his eating clubs to ensure that no one sat next to him. He turned homeward to his 1-bedroom cottage as sparsely furnished as his office. Sitting on the grounds of Ground House in a Pacific Heights, not far from Julius, the widow, who lived alone in the house, rented the cottage for him, a modest sum. She needed the additional income, valued her privacy, but wanted an obtrusive human presence nearby. Philip was the man for that job, and they lived in isolation proximity for several years. The enthusiastic greetings of yips, barks, tailing wagons acrostic leaps into the air offered by Ruby, his dog, usually cheered Philip, but not on this evening, nor did his evening dog walk, nor any of his routine leisure activities bring Philip tranquility. He lit his pipe, he listened to Beethoven's Fourth Symphony, and there was one passage that caught his eye for just a moment.
Mm-hmm. If you have an earnest desire towards philosophy, prepare yourself from the very first to have the multitude laugh and sneer. Remember, if you are persistent, those very persons will afterward admire you. Remember, if you ever happen to turn your attention to earnestly for the pleasure of anyone, be assured that you have ruined your scheme of life.
Yet his presence of uneasiness remained, an uneasiness that he had not experienced in some time, a state of mind that in years past had set him out like a sexually crazed beast on the prowl. He strolled in his tiny kitchen, cleaned his breakfast dishes from the table, turned on his computer, and submitted to his only addictive vice. He logged on to the Internet Chess Club and played 5 minutes of Bliss games, silently and anonymously for the next 3 hours. Mostly he won. When he lost, it was unusually through carelessness, but his irritation was short-lived. Immediately he typed in, seeking a game, and his eyes lit up childish delight as a brand new game commenced. Thank you guys for watching the lovely video of retelling Philip's thought process after group therapy. Thank you.
You good?
Mm-hmm.